So remember that they're changing my voice now. The first thing I like to point out is that I'm not a very confrontational person, believe it or not. You know, even when I was younger, when I was angry, I'd have to be pretty damn angry to confront somebody. So most of the time, I'd go home and I'd yell, or I'd yell in the car, play loud music, work out. I'd shake things off, and now I'm an older person. I'm 42 years old. I might even be older than the the mailman. Okay, so and I've been fumed and so on and so forth. I'm in bad health. Okay, I'm not even thrilled about going to the doctor's office because, to make a long story short, I don't want to kind of do the checkup there. They tend to kind of, I don't, they put their hands on you in a certain way. We'll say that is uncomfortable, and when you've been sexually harassed for years, that you're not thrilled about that, right? This is, make a long story short. So, but certainly I've noticed the bad health effects. So when I was put in a situation where I had to go back to my house to make sure, because my mom had been threatened, and they threatened using the internet as well. And to make a long story short, I want to cover this first, so I don't want you to get bored by this video. I want you to hear this part where he raised up the mail and he looked at me. So first, what happened? I'm parked on the side of the road. I'm making these videos. I'm mad because something had occurred. Something else had occurred. It's a story for another day. And I'm mad, and a little bit saddened. But it kind of come to terms with eventually my health is going to slip into worse and worse condition. Okay, and people didn't kind of go there with me, or else they would have either suffered with me and we could kind of make our case together, or they would have prevented them from fuming me more. So I'm on the side of the road. Here comes the mail guy, right? I look up just in time to see a vehicle coming. I tend to look up when the vehicle's coming for more than one reason, right? Not in a hostile manner, just quickly check. And right when I look up, he swerves, in a very aggressive manner, like toward my vehicle that's parked, but not in a way that made me think that he's going to hit me. But it was just enough to say, hey, I don't like you, right? It's communicated by the gesture of the motion of the car. You can kind of communicate you're an aggressive driver, what I mean? It's like whoosh, kind of thing. And so, I'm like, man, it caught me by surprise. I get a little mad, right? I'm a little irritated first. I'm like, I don't want to, I'm not a punk or something. I'm not some kind of brute that feels like he has to fight you every time you disrespect him or something. But I'm feeling some type of way about it, just briefly. So I kind of calmed down for a second. We had reported to the USPS the other day. Maybe this guy got in trouble. Maybe he replaced the last guy, because I never seen this guy before from what I gather. But I don't really pay close attention to who the mailman is. And so, because of the proximity of the mailbox to the property, I had to kind of consider, hey, this guy's feeling this way, and I got to impress upon this guy that, hey, you can't threaten my mom and so on and so forth without confronting the person. Okay, because if I get in a fight with the person, I'll probably have to defend myself, and because of my exact condition, I'll probably have to use kind of lethal force, and I'm not going to put myself in a situation, where I have to beat someone up badly or kill them for something I can logically avoid. So I have to kind of make a certain judgment call, which is part of what martial arts is about. It's like judgment. It's not just, if I was a ghetto person, I might just smoke the person or something, but that's not me. And so as I'm driving by, I set up my little stand thing, and I, so I can get it legally on camera. And I'm driving, and, I'm expecting to see him at the box, but I guess they told him not to deliver the mail today or something. I still don't see him here. I can see the place from my driveway where I'm making this video. And, so, I'm expecting to kind of see him outside the vehicle, and I'm going to catch his response so I can kind of show my family and say, show my brother and friends and say, get them to weigh in on it, so I can make sure that I did everything possible to keep them from saying, hey, he's crazy, or, to kind of legally protect myself, to kind of socially, to some degree, protect myself. You get what I'm saying. So, I drive by. Instead, he's already turned around, right? Instead of he's standing out there, and he has a letter he's holding up, and he's looking at me like I can't really see his face too well, but I took it as like a semi-threatening matter. He's not like saying what with his hands in the air, but he's got his letter up like, yeah, I did that, is what I got from it. Though it could be a coincidence, but that's what I got from it. And I want you to consider the videos and the story and weigh in the comments. Again, I ask lots of people, what do you think? And I weigh the evidence and I do a careful analysis. I don't jump to a conclusion and flip out like some crazy and unfortunate unhoused gentleman in the streets or something who's on drugs or something. I make sure that I have the most rational process, the most logical process. Okay. So I capture that on the camera, right? And I'm looking at this guy because at the same time I'm like, look, you don't confront somebody in front of their house and make it a pattern, and I'm not trying to, I feel like the person probably should lose their job, but I'm not trying to, cost them their job or not per se, because maybe they just told him to do it. I don't know what his reasons are. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. You see what I'm saying? But I can't go out like a punk in front of my own house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of guy, if you argue with me in front of my house, right in front of my driveway or outside the gate, I'm probably going to fight with you about it. You see what I'm saying? Because, that's my house. It's probably going to escalate. You feel me? And I'm going to try to make very sure that I'm within my legal boundaries, even though I believe in a moral code that transcends the law. Okay? Because that's crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. And I'm sure that if you think about it and put yourself in my shoes, you'd come to the same conclusion, right? Someone's threatened your 70-year-old mother, okay? And your dad's an old man too, you know what I'm saying? Your brother's a bully. I mean, my brother you'd probably fight with him about it, you know what I'm saying? He's a very angry guy, you know what I'm saying? He confronts, over little things he can snap on you, you know what I'm saying? But he's not like a criminal or something, but he likes to kind of be extremely vocal about the situation, okay? And my other friends and family members that come through here are a bit more reasonable than he is, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, and there's all this crime in California, all this madness and stuff, since he works for the government, they're trying to pit the black community. I'm sure I'm talking about not just Black Lives Matter, but every black guy. You know how it goes, right? First they rock the boat, black people get mad, they respond in an uncontrolled manner because there's a bunch of controlled opposition people they don't want to fall for good reason, and the government killed like the real leaders except for me, and I'm suppressed. So they have an understandable response. And then the community acts like, oh, we got to protect ourselves from the black people. And it becomes this kind of, this kind of circus, a shit show. And so I'm explaining it like this, too, to kind of talk your language more instead of the way I usually talk, which is a very kind of irritated holy man sort of explanation. But here it's kind of something that a very secular person can understand. It's similar to a police officer. It's similar to, what I consider reasonable people. And to some degree, I'm inclined to speak this way because I'm part white and so on and so forth. So it comes together nicely. I'm not being fake or anything. It's just that's how I've chosen to frame it and phrase it. Okay. So yeah, obviously I'm telling the truth. I have the video evidence and so on and so forth. I never had any problem with this guy in my life, and so it must be over my videos, must be over my bumper stickers. Obviously, you can imagine I don't appreciate it. Imagine if you're a Muslim or something, and someone didn't like your videos and started harassing you right in front of your house or your mosque, or if you're a Jewish person, they start harassing you in front of the mosque or your house, right? You'd be mad, right? Or Christian and so on and so forth. And I've been provoked for years and years, so in a sense, it's kind of helped me to kind of make extra sure, because I know that they want me to do something stupid or they do things that suggest that they want to do some kind of psychological experiment or something. So I'm making sure that everything's on the up and up, right? And we've already reported to law enforcement, and she's made contact with the sheriff's department and with the USPS people, and so there's that. So I know a lot of people, they heard this, oh my gosh, if people really cared about that, I had a beautiful girlfriend or something, she'd be like, baby, I don't want you to get in trouble, So I think about all this stuff. I go through the list of things, right? What's the right thing to do? What does God expect of me? How would my family respond? How would if I was, married or something, how would they respond? If I had children, how would they, what example would I want to set? Well, what do my neighbors think? I go through the list, What would law enforcement think? What would the judge think? What do the lawyers think? What do different religious leaders think? Make sure that I'm right across the board, within the boundaries of moral precision. Okay.